Hi, Mark. I'm Shannon. I'm going to read the article Experts Fear Start of Road Rage Trend. The local traffic report is starting to sound like the police blutter. On August 3rd, while trying to park his car on South Street, a 23-year-old West Philly man was shot in the head by another driver who wanted the spots. A week later, an argument between the occupants of two cars on Allegheny Avenue erupted into gunfire. A 19-year-old woman was shot in the head. On August 12th, the driver of a sport utility vehicle tried to run a van driver off the road in Upper Darby. After a collision, the first driver stabbed the second in the leg. How long till we have to buckle off both our safety belts and our bulletproof vests when we climb behind the wheel? Police say incidents like these, known as road rage, are still rare in the Philadelphia area. But traffic experts are worried we may be seeing the beginning of a far more deadly trend. It's going to get worse, said Leon James, a University of Hawaii traffic psychological professor known as Dr. Driving. James and others believe violent highway incidents are merely extreme examples of our everyday aggressive driving behavior. The Daily News reported last month that drivers who have abandoned civil roadway behavior are causing about half of all serious traffic accidents. Tailgating, running red lights, speeding, and hazardous lane changes are common behavior on the highway, said James. Aggressive driving is not extreme anymore. It has become a cultural norm on the highway, James said. And it's going to get worse for two big reasons, experts say. First, traffic is becoming more congested. That means drivers have more opportunities to engage in violent encounters. Second, we are a violent society that is proud, not ashamed, of aggressive behavior. What's going to reverse the trend? Earlier this month, the National Conference of State Legislatures tackled that question during its annual meeting in Philadelphia. Some legislators, though none from Pennsylvania or New Jersey, said they had tried to introduce new laws that outlaw aggressive driving. None have been adopted so far because lawmakers have been unable to define aggressive driving. But Carol Petzold, a Maryland legislature delegate, insisted, "You and I know what aggressive driving is when we see it." Other experts believe the problem can be solved with enforcement of existing laws. That's the cornerstone of a new program in the Washington, D.C. area called Smooth Operator. Police initiated the program after an ATMPH road duel on the George Washington Parkway killed 3 people. In its first 2 weeks, Smooth Operator ticketed more than 27,000 drivers for speeding, tailgating, improper passing, and failure to obey signals. By comparison, the Daily News has found that Philadelphia police rarely write tickets for aggressive driving. For instance, in 1995, police wrote 137 tickets for red light running, which is the city's #1 cause of accidents. Though experts say increased law enforcement is a big part of the solution, psychologists like James say the problem runs even deeper into the soul of our violent nation. We're born into road rage. We inherit it from our parents, said James. We acquired it automatically as children from adult drivers, cartoons, televisions, and commercials. Every driver at some point has these violent thoughts against another driver, he continued. There's a Jekyll and Hyde transformation when we get behind the wheel of a car. The car is our castle, and the road is our freedom. When somebody gets in the way of it, we get hostile, James said. For James, the solution is better driver education that stresses the ability to contain hostility and to avoid disputes. If we don't do something, these violent incidents are going to get worse, James said. What's increasing is our acceptance of road rage, our self-righteous indignation about other drivers. People feel almost proud of their aggressiveness. Why pedaling is hard to beat. Britain would be healthier and wealthier if more people got on their bikes. Not only would roads be less congested and less polluted, but cyclists would be fitter and could expect a longer life. Mike Collins from cycling charity Sunstream says, a cyclist of 50 would have the health of a 40-year-old. The Health Education Authority says that cycling for as little as half an hour a day, a journey of about 5 miles, can halve the risk of heart disease. Longer term, cycling could also help avert one of the great threats of the age, global warming. Taking to 2 wheels is pollution-free. The other great benefit is that cycling is cheap. So it's hardly surprising that each year more trips are made by bike than by train and London Underground combined. But Britain's 20 million bicycles need to be put to regular use. Then they can be of really effective benefits to everyone, even non-cyclists. Now I'm going to answer my 5 questions. Question number 2. Why do you think drivers become so aggressive when other cars get in their way? I think there are some reasons for drivers to become aggressive. First of all, the driver may be late to work or be late of some appointments with others and some important meeting. So they lose their patience while they are rushing to the destination. Next, the driver may be next, for instance, they might become aggressive while the vehicles in front of the driver is blocking his or her way to pass through the traffic lights. Thus, the driver has to wait need to wait about 1 or 2 minutes until the next green light to pass through. So they will feel very impatient and then they will act more aggressive because they just don't like to wait. And there are also more reasons that have something to do with the driver's personality of being aggressive. Like if the drivers are very selfish and they only think about themselves. In this way, when other cars get in their way, they don't have the sense of being polite or giving others the precedence and were angry at other driver because they cut in their line. So, in my opinion, I think we should carry the positive attitude while we are climbing behind the wheel, and we need to also have the patience and also have the sense of giving others the precedence while we are driving. And so we need to put safety as our first priority. And if we are afraid of being late, we should adjust our schedule so that we can depart earlier, and then there will be less problems while riding on the road.